Hello folks, Jed here and welcome to the last episode of Racing Labs, at least the main episode really, because next one will be a bit different, I guess you could say. But anyway, in this video we will actually be going to the garage and all the cars that I got. Well, I mean, I guess that my garage has collected over the course of the past half a year or so, a bit more actually. So yeah, we're gonna stop at some of the cards and we're gonna talk about how I got them and stuff. So yeah, it should be interesting. So we're gonna go from earliest acquired, obviously, for no, I guess we can just like see how our garage developed over the time. So first off, we have a Scion FRS, and this was actually one of the first cars that were ever donated to me, and it was donated by my top donator actually, F-Savix. And he gave me this Scion FRS. It was in like plum color. I don't know. Didn't really like it, but I kept it for some reason. I don't know. Was it this? No, it was this. I didn't really like it, but you know, it kind of fit the car well. But then as time progressed, you know, I actually realized that this was the car that stayed around for longest. So I have decided to, you know, put some nicer parts on it so it would look cooler, you know, because this is the car that people see when they come into my garage, obviously. And yeah, I put 10k paint over it, you know, nice orange, 75k rims, and then carbon hood and trunk to match with the car, and of course I maxed it out. So yeah, not bad, right? I mean, it's a nice car. Didn't really race it for a while, and I probably never will, but it serves its purpose. I mean, it's a car that a lot of people have at the beginning of their garages. So then we have the M6 Coupe, which was another car donated by F-Savix. So yeah, I actually got it stock. Then no, just like he said that they were really good in 63, so I have decided that it would be a great idea to actually tune it myself. And by some stroke of genius and some luck, I actually managed to actually hit it on 1663, which I was really pleased with. And then I realized that actually didn't perform bad, so yeah, I kept it, used it for some events, but at the end of the day I just like decided that it should retire because I don't want to pink slip it. I mean, it's one of the oldest cars here. Then we're gonna skip a couple of ones to the Buick GNX. Now, some of you might remember this car, most of you probably don't, but actually it's funny because this is the this is the first ever car that we built up, and I actually did it on the day when it was first released, the Buick GNX. So yeah, F-Savix, of course, donated me one, and I have decided I'm gonna use my last gems at the time to actually max it out, and it didn't do as well as I expected. Plus, the jet launch was a pain in the ass. I think it's one of the rare cars that actually have the jet light on the third one, so it was fairly interesting. I don't know, it's an interesting car, this one. Plus also, in replays, this car actually catches up. Like most cars, you get in front on the replays and then the opponent catches up, but in this one, you catch up to the opponent. So yeah, I think I actually made a pink slip with it, and I made a nice comeback, so pretty cool. Like this car, but it's a bit complex, that's for sure. Then we're gonna go to the BMW M3, and this is actually a car, I'm not sure if it's the last showcase that I did, but it's pretty close. I don't know, just like BMW M3 released, amazing. I love the BMW's M3 E46. I have one here in my own town, and it's silver and it looks amazing. So one of my favorite cars ever. Not really in this game, as you guys can see, I never really upgraded it to its full potential. Plus people don't really I don't know, use them, so I guess it's not very competitive. But I don't know, I put 25k paint on it because it fits the car really nice. And overall, it's one of the best looking cars in the game, in my opinion. Plus, you know, some nice budget rims. It'll look nice, and I guess that's why it sticked around. Then we have one of the more sentimental cars on this in this garage actually. It's the Rotana, which I have been talking about quite a lot recently. It is I know it's of course yet another donation from FSavix, and it's been completely stock. He bought it for me, like he said, here you can have this, and I was like, oh, what car is it? And then it was a freaking Rotana. It was still, you know, stock at the time, purple, but I don't know, I kept it in my garage, didn't really... Oh shit, actually one thing that I did have is all the gem rims on it. Like you can just see this one, it had these rims on it for a long time before I decided that I'm gonna customize it on my own, so I just put matte paint on it. But yeah, it's a super nice car. I guess I'm kind of like afraid to get embarrassed with this car because I cannot really handle it, even though it's one of the easiest R-class cars to drive. So I mean, it looks really nice, and I know for a fact that I'm never gonna sell it. So yeah, and also I love it how it still has the freaking purple windshield sticker, which just doesn't give a fuck, you know. You can literally repaint it to any color, or you can do anything to the car, and that sticker will not go away. So yeah, I guess it makes the car unique, you could say, or I don't know why it does really. So then we have an Evo, actually. I'm just doing this completely unscripted, by the way, but this is actually one of the first Evos on my garage. At least it's the first jammed one, I'm pretty sure. I had a couple on Vault, but I don't know, I think this is the original one, the jammed one. The first Evos that were ever donated by me were by a guy called Mikey Fiash, who ended up actually scamming me, but then he returned one of the cars that he scammed me for, so I don't know, he abandoned now, so it really doesn't matter. It was a long time ago, but anyway, yeah, he was the guy who donated me first jammed, not jammed, but just like max Evos. And I remember it was on a live stream, and I got it was so embarrassing because it was way too fast for me, you know. So I find it pretty ironic that one of my biggest successes was, you know, actually Evo pink slipping, as it turned out to be. So yeah, I don't know, maybe Mikey is like sitting on his chair looking at Evo episodes and thinking, what the fuck was he doing back then? So yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, Evos are probably my favorite cars in the game still. Not the most exclusive, but you know, with jump body parts, they're actually one of the nicest looking, at least in my opinion. Plus the Evo 8 might be one of my favorite cars of all time, so you know, it's nice to have some memories. Actually, I think there were a couple of Evos before this in my garage, but I think I just ended up losing all of them on pink slips. So then we have a couple of customized cars. I think this car was actually I cheered for it. I think it was Deadly Tin, a guy who I have no clue where he went, but yeah, I cheered for this car, I'm pretty sure, and I loved it from the first minute. I think it's the Evo that I used on my tune tutorial as well, and it has crate rims, one of my favorite ones, fully jammed, obviously matte black. Honestly, it's a perfect combo, and it's my favorite Evo that I have by far. So then we have another funny thing. It's no, I guess it's just like funny. A lot of people have been asking me if I'm gonna sell this car, but no, I won't. Like basically it's the same thing as the matte black Evo we just looked at, except it has other rims which are, in my opinion, a bit nicer, but I don't know, like I was actually I got it from Deadly Tin, the same guy who I traded that Evo from before for. So yeah, I traded with him, and I saw that he had those rims on the car, and I was like, you wanna trade it as well? And he was like, okay. And then I was like, yo, can you put matte black on it? And he was like, okay, why not? So this is what ended up becoming well, probably the best Scion TC, the best looking Scion TC, the normal one at least, on this game. So definitely really cool. So then we have actually, yeah, it's the Subaru Impreza. I think it was a donation. I'm now selling it because I know I don't really need it, but it was a donation. And one funny thing about this car is the fact that it has so many rims on it. Like has these ones, then these ones, basically in every single size as well. Then it has red lines and some other stuff. I don't know, it's I'm pretty sure this is a developer like a setting to just like randomly buy some rims or something. I know because I have a bunch of other cars with rims that are exactly the same as this and in all sizes as well, so it cannot really be a coincidence. But yeah, it's really a nice car, has gem paint as well, but you know, at the end of the day it just doesn't have the sentimental value that some Evos have, so you know. Of course, here we have the Datsun 510, my only Datsun in this garage. Actually, it was one of the first cars that I ever unboxed. Oh shit, no, it is the first car that I ever... No, it's not. It's not. I actually sold that. I quick sold that car. Yeah, but this is... it was lookalike, except it didn't have the 40k rims and it wasn't... it was stock, basically. But yeah, the first car that I ever ended up getting from a crate was... a fucking Volkswagen GTI, and I really wasn't pleased with it. I still am not, but you know, whatever. Could be worse. Could be a Datsun. So yeah. And then we have the famous Evo Rainbow, which at this point it's in a pretty bad shape. I lost plenty of cars from it on pink slips. It's a shame, but you know, there used to be like 25 Evos here, but basically this is from the era where I just like would only race Evos and I would hit 8.6s constantly. So no, it's definitely an artifact of culture, and I actually came up with the rainbow idea myself. And I have decided that I'm gonna keep it because it's actually one of the rare things or moments where I have been innovative and you know, I actually came up with my own ideas. So pretty great. Then we have some other cars. Actually, I'm gonna stop by this one. This is the Skyline GTR. I actually want it in a pink slip because Wellside Custom has provided me with a 63 tune for the Skyline R34, and I have to give him a huge shout for that because honestly I won so many Skylines just because of that tune. So yeah. And then one thing that I really wanted was a fully gemmed Skyline for myself, because like I always I know it's weird, but I always wanted this rear bumper on a freaking Skyline because it was jammed. I don't know, like this looked nice, this looked nice, this just looked original, basically, like one of those, what is it, spec nerd or something like that. I don't know, it's like a Z-tune. I don't know, it's basically like an upgrade version of R34 GTR. So yeah, I don't know, I think it just looks sick. Plus, you know, had 75k rims when I won it, so it was probably one of my proudest moments in the time of when I played this game. It's definitely one of my nicest looking cars as well, and as you guys can see, actually there used to be like 5 Skylines around it, but I have decided that I'm gonna keep this one in particular because I don't know, I just like remember, I was like, wait, is that jammed? And I was like, oh shit, and then it turns out it was, so that was pretty great. Then we have the cheesy yellow Evo, and this is actually sad, not really sad, but I don't know, like this was on one of the unreleased episodes which I ended up deleting by mistake, but actually I was like, should I risk partially gemmed Evo to pink slip some non-gemmed ones? And I was like, yeah, okay. And then of course after the 2 pink slips I ended up losing it. But the funny thing is, as you guys can see, it's still back in my garage. The guy came back. I came back with a fully gemmed Evo because I didn't have others, because I didn't want to pink slip the rainbow at the time. And I was like, fuck it, YOLO, he raises the pinks, we race, and I beat him by, it was really close, but anyway, I won my cheesy Evo back, which, yeah, it's an achievement, I guess. I don't know, it's definitely a pretty cheesy story, but, you know, whatever. So then we have the Viper, which actually sold. Actually, this was from Gauges, which was a top donator a couple of months ago, and he still is, obviously, but I think he doesn't play the game anymore. But yeah, basically he was like, yo, I'm selling an ACRX Viper. This was on stream one day, and I was like, actually it looks pretty nice. How much would you want for it? And he was like, fuck it, it's you can have it for 200k. And I was like, what? And I had some other really nice donations at the time, but this is the one that really sticked out because it looked sick. I really like the ACRX Viper. It's a shame that it's not as fast as, you know, the other S-Class cars. It's slower than the freaking Campaign Viper and the MP4, but, you know, it still looks much better, so it's pretty cool. And this is actually the way it came. One thing that I realized is the fact that it doesn't fit perfectly, that the 10 gem paint would actually fit better, but you know what, it's the way it came and I'm gonna leave it be. So then I actually ended up selling my Viper to, I don't know, Casbas, I think, and I know, like a month ago or something like that, I have decided, you know what, fuck it, I want it back, and I traded 6 max Evos for it, which was actually quite a bargain, and I ended up getting it back, and I was super happy with it, so that's pretty good. Then we have, what else? We have the Zonda, which actually really got it for a bargain. I think it was 6 max Evos as well. The guy really wanted to sell it, so I was like, you know what, let me lowball you, and he actually accepted the deal, which is nice. Do we have anything else? Oh yes, we do actually. Here we have another Mad Black Evo. It just like doesn't have the freaking orange rims, so you know, it's still pretty nice, but not as nice as the other one. Then we have the Smurf, of course. This is a car that I have that has been donated to me by a guy who abandoned the game, and he actually gave me a Stella that I would eventually end up losing on pings. The thing is actually recorded, and another MP4 which was white with 40k rims, and I ended up losing that as well. I'm not sure if it was on the compilation, someone, but yeah, this is the car that stick around, and the funny thing is I risked it quite a lot of times. I think I pink slipped 5 times with it, and one time I had a really shit run, but it actually ended up being a tie, and it wasn't a tie glitch, because tie glitch, I don't know, like every single time I would end up losing, it would be it basically went into like the slow motion thing, and we were neck and neck that one time, and it ended up being a tie. So basically I was so happy that I didn't lose it that I have decided I'm never gonna pink slip it again. But I did once or twice, but it's still here, and it's gonna stay here now. Basically I call it the Smurf because it's blue, 50k rims, 50k paint, 75k rims, and it looks just superb. And actually one thing that I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna just do this. A real spoiler, here you go, you can have the nice one back. Don't need the one that reduces the weight more, because this one looks nicer. Nice. Okay. So let's go back. This is from the era where I started to basically pink slip S-classes, and as you guys can see, this is the one that stuck around for the longest time. Then we have the record-breaking WRX STI, which still holds the world record for the 05 Subi. And actually, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do some world record attempts, and actually got it on the first run for that video that I did, and I wasn't able to beat it since, obviously. So no, it's a super nice car. Also, I was a part of a build. This is actually excluding the GNX, this was actually one of the cheapest cars that I have started off in any build-up, but it actually ended up being one of the more remembered ones, and it's super nice. People ask me if I want to sell it. The answer is no. Also, it was Pro Tuner at 6996 that actually supplied me with the rims, and he gave me a lot of them, like as you guys can see, 250k, all of them in this size, obviously. But I don't know, it was like Subi, you always think blue and gold, so that is what I have decided to eventually go for. Obviously it even had some glow rims on. Yeah, those are nice, but you know, not as nice as the Miller rims at the end of the day. Here we go. Then it was, of course, the McLaren MP4 G83, which yeah, it was an incident that happened 2 episodes ago. Oh boy, that wasn't really great. They have some cars that were donated to me. yeah, then we have the GTR Nismo, which actually I'm pretty sure that I really overpaid for this, because I really wanted one for the build-up, but I just never got around to make one again, sadly. I don't know, it happens. So then we have, well, basically the a bit customized version of it. I think this was from Honda actually. He gave me a solid deal for it, so I took it. Looks nice. I'm selling it now because I don't need it. But yeah, one funny thing about it, this one doesn't have an NOS even though it's higher rated. It's 1651, this one, but the other one actually has it, and it's 1644. So, you know, was a bit of a negative surprise here, but you know, whatever. Basically, NOS just means that you cannot turf tune cars. You usually cannot turf tune cars with NOS, basically. And when you buy NOS, you cannot, you know, remove it, so that's a pain in the ass. Anyway, then I have the McLaren with mirror rims. That's about it, honestly. Even though I got it for like 600k or something like that, it was a bargain basically for a car with mirror rims. Then I just put the paint on it, and it was ready to go basically. So that's all good. Then here is basically my most expensive car ever. The top 25 Honda HSV. I have traded so many cars for this. I traded the GTR Limited that I built up like, I don't know, it was around I don't know, end of December 2014. But yeah, I actually ended up trading this, I mean that, for a stock Honda HSV. Plus I had some other ads, but I don't know. The guy was like, you know what, I'll go first. And I was really surprised because, you know, I thought that you know, he wouldn't trust me, but no, he went first, and I actually ended up obviously giving him the GTR Limited and some other cars. I know there was a BMW M3 GT2 included, but it was like 4 cars or something. I quite overpaid for it, but you know what, I always wanted an HSV, and well, I got it. I actually never finished the build up of this, even though it is maxed now, but I couldn't find the rims, and I still cannot, which, no, I guess it's gonna stay like this. It's also being sold now because it's, you know, so freaking expensive, and honestly, I already have a C6R, so you know, it cannot be my, I don't know, my baby really, because the C6R always will be. So, then we have some other cars that were donated to me on a live stream. We have this is basically from the era of S-Class Mayhem. Like, I lost a shitload of MP4s, and then I actually went to the Vipers, because I mean at the beginning I freaking hated racing Vipers, but then I got used to it, and honestly I guess there are the more reasonable cars to actually race. So then we have the SRT Viper, obviously. Actually, one on you're gonna see it later. It was pretty interesting. But anyway, here we have my first ever top 25 turf car. It's a really good one. I got it for such a bargain, so that's pretty good. I mean, obviously it's good. It's a very special car, and it has a special place in my garage because I don't know. It was like all the cars from here were actually stored to another account when my silver Skyline got hacked. It just like disappeared. Maybe it was a coding glitch, but I never got it back. So I have decided that my most valuable cars will actually be stored in another account, and all of them survived there. So I guess it was worth something. So yeah, this is my first ever top 25 turf car. It's a very special one, and it has some multiple sets of wheels on it. And no, I actually made an episode, I think it was episode 38, my first ever top 25 turf car, 6-second turf car, because yeah, it was the fastest car in my garage for a while. This was way before I got the Zonda. It's just like, I put it onto another account, and I don't know, a couple of days ago I just like transferred all of them to this one, so you know, because I had it connected to the Facebook, and it would be lost if I kept it on that account. Then I also have a WRC, which actually I wanted for a long time. Then I traded for one, and then I just like put it on another account for some reason. Cannot remember why, but yeah, this car was away for a long time, but now it's back, and it's for sale. So yeah, didn't really get a chance to be in the main spot, this one car, but it's a super nice one. It's actually a top 100, but it's still wrapped, so I don't know. It's a nice car. I mean, shame it's an A class, but still looks nice. Then we have the world record Sylvia, which was actually the first ever car that I got the world record with. I actually got these rims, which a lot of people have complimented for a bargain, like 150k, even though they went for over a mil at the time, back when mils were still like 10 bucks or something like that. And the funny thing is, I could not think of a color for this car, so I just went with my personal taste, and I have decided that, you know what, it was gonna be a stock color, because it's just like, I don't know, it was like 10 gem paint, the dark blue one, but it was a little bit more reddish, and it went but this one was, you know, obviously a little bit more reddish, and it went with the wheels. So this is what I ended up basically getting, and it's honestly, it's one of the best looking cars in my garage, and a lot of people have actually offered for it already, but not for sale. And this car actually still holds the world record spot for the Nissan Silvia S15 on this game, so you know what, it was a good investment. So then, what do we have? We have a couple of silver cars. Here's the Camaro. I would really stop at the R34 at this point, but it's gone. I know, like, some people said that it was in the video when I was panicking, because I actually realized in the middle of the video that I got hacked, but yeah, I didn't. I mean, yeah, I actually got hacked. Like, some people saw the white one and they thought it was silver, but it wasn't. That silver skyline, I'm assuming it was a coding glitch, but it was gone basically. I think it was 7th to 14th, it was gone somewhere around then. So that's unfortunate. Then we have my first ever golden car. I finished 79th on the Racer Showdown for this, and it is the first gen one, because there were actually 2 gens of this. So that means there is 200 of, well, actually no, 198, because the first place also had the freaking golden rims. But yeah, it's a super rare car, one of 198. Got it, made a special episode for it, and it's a trophy. I have a bunch of other golden cars, and all of them I'm selling, but this one I am keeping because it's special basically. Like, it's gold, it's nice, and the rims don't really fit, but what can you do? This is the way I put them on, and I thought they looked good. Do my rims look better on it? Definitely, but you know what, I'm keeping it this way. Also, I couldn't decide on the parts for this car, so I just bought all of them, and then I went for the best possible combo, and I don't know, it looked funny a couple of times. Love that freaking hood glitch there, but you know what, at the end of the day, I think I did a fair choice, fair mixture of parts, and you know what, together it's a unique car, so I'm definitely happy about it. Then we have some other golden cars. This one's actually mine. I think there was only 1 gen of the Ford FPV for Racer Showdown, and this was the first gen. I think it was 64th place actually, so my best at the time, and it's definitely, you know, a nice looking car, but just like, I don't know, it was second, it wasn't first, so I never really maxed it out, but I always kept it. But this time, you know what, I'm not, so I'm gonna sell it. But still, the Ford FPV, or the Falcon as I used to call it, is still a really nice car. So, you know, happy that I got one, and I am very proud of it. The Nissan Skyline, shared with Joseph Silva for this. So, yeah, not sure what position this is from, but I mean, it's golden. First gen as well. There were 2 gens of this car. So, yeah, nice. That's about it. Can't tell much else about this. Then we have the Ford SVT Cobra, and this was actually it was an Evo event for the Racer Showdown of that day. I mean, it was B class, but obviously Evos were the dominant car in the maxed lobby, basically 63, I guess you could call it. But this was my proudest moment in this game, actually, because from all the people that participated that day, I got into the 22nd spot. So that means not only did I get in the top 100, I got into the elite at the time, top 25. It was my name was shown on the week, for a week on that top 25 list, and I was really proud of it. Ended up maxing this car as well for another Racer Showdown event. It's a nice car. I think there were 2 gens of this car as well, but this is first gen, 22nd place, 75k rims. Really nice car actually. But I am selling it as well because I need money to upgrade my PC. Then we have the Chevrolet Corvette, which actually ended up winning as well. But honestly, I am not sure what place this car was. I think it was like 50s to 60s or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, it's golden. That's as much as I can say about this car. The Corvettes were never a really competitive car in racing rivals, at least not the C6. The Z1 of course is, but this one, not really. But there was only 1 gen of this car, and it's pretty rare to come across a golden one these days. So you know, the one that's gonna buy it is probably gonna be fairly happy with it. Then we have a major one actually. This is a car that was on my Vault account for the longest time. It's been a couple of months. This is the first ever proper build-up that I have done, and it is still a beauty basically. I traded for it. I traded my Max ZL1 for a bone stock Skyline GTR, and it's just like, oh my god. Basically I gave it to F6 and I was like, yo, I'm gonna pay you basically for, you know, what was it, the 250 gem rims, the lime ones. So let's see, it was gram lights. Here you go, these ones. Yeah, so it's like I wanted these ones on it because I think they looked really nice, and I don't know, I still wasn't sure about the paint at the time, because back when I was building up this car, there actually still wasn't any matte paint in game. So I was like, I guess I can do the 50k blue. But then I gave it to F6 and I looked into his garage, and the car basically had the rims that it would, you know, end up on. And it was the white red lines, which were and actually still are the most expensive gem rims in the game. 500 gems for one rim. And he was like, I have a surprise for you, and it was spoiled, the surprise, but honestly it was still just as sweet, because this car then I was like, he was like, you want anything else? And I was like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna be bowling. And I was like, put 200 gem paint on it, and he was like, okay, done. And it's just, it's a very special car, and this is actually, you know what, this might be my favorite. This might be my favorite car in the game. Super nice. Honestly, not much else to say. It just speaks for itself. Basically, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know. As I've just said, it does speak for itself. So next up, we have a bunch of Evos. This was actually one of the oldest Evos in my garage as well. Ended up putting 75k rims on it, and back in the day it actually wasn't so cheap as you guys might think, because I don't know, I spent like a majority of my money on those rims, but I think they looked sick, and they do. I love it how I'm a noob and I don't have the freaking wing on it, but you know what, I got it from the vault 2 days ago, and here it is. It's nice. It's one of my oldest Evos, even though it's at the end of my garage. And we have the Evo, which we ended up winning some pink slips on quite a while ago. I think it was on a couple of thumbnail pics as well. So here it is. It's I only realized when I was transferring that it wasn't fully jammed, that the guy had actually fooled me and it only had the jam front bumper. But you know what? Still a nice car, 40k rims. I want a nice pink, a couple of pink slips with it. So you know what, at the end, that's all that matters. So, I don't know, I decided that I'm gonna retire it, and I did. Probably never gonna race ever again with it, but hey, memories are still there, right? So then we have the second proper build-up car, and it was the Hellcat. And I know that this was a pain in the ass, because at the time crate items were just released, and actually crates were released as a whole. So I was like, what kind of combo should I put on it? And I was like, I want some orange rims, and I was originally going for the RE30s, I guess, that were the same color as these ones, but I couldn't find them anywhere. So I was like, Savix, do you have any rims for sale? And he was like, yes. And then I saw these, and I just knew that I had to get them, and I did. And because I was too poor to afford matte paint at the time, the matte black one was the only one available, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna improvise, and I'm gonna put the freaking, what is it, paint on it. But yeah, it looked like matte black. Hold on, where is it? Have it somewhere now? Yeah, there it is. But I'm gonna keep the original one on it, because I know, it's just like memory of a time when I was not very rich at this game, which I am now, but you know, that's gonna come to an end anyway. Yeah, basically I'm just like stopping at every car now, because these ones were from the vault. So yeah. Then we have the Eclipse, which is actually the car which I spent the most money on ever on this game, at least the most gems. The only gem rims that I ever bought on my account are on this car actually, and you know, looking back, it looks ridiculous. Like, it's so loaded, it's such a racer, but I don't know, just like, you couldn't get bigger rims on it. I was seriously hoping at the time you could get a carbon part or two on it, but nope. But I don't know, I really wanted an Eclipse at the time, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go into my own wallet and buy it, and I did. Just let me change this, actually, here we go. I didn't realize that, you know, suspension actually affected weight, so yeah, I was a noob. I mean, the episode where I raced with this car, it was awful. I think it's called Worst Racing Ever, and yeah, that sums it up. It was awful. But here it is, half a year later. Not really a huge fan of it anymore. But you know what? I spent 125 gems for this car, at least for the rims of it. Now I actually bought first the car that was like 100 and something gems, and then I spent just as much on the rims as well. So I know. Brings back some memories when I was poor. But you know what? We all had to start somewhere, right? Holy shit, my throat is hurting at this point, but I'm gonna continue. Then we have the Honda Civic Si. You guys might be wondering what the hell am I doing looking at a Civic, but I think a couple of people might remember this. Bravo Man of Civics. This was back at the very early beginning of my Racing Rivals garage building, you could say. And F6 was like, you know, he just donated me I think it was in the same live stream that he donated me the car, the FRS, that would end up being the first car in my garage to this day. I mean, the oldest one anyway. And he was like, you know what, you want a shit Civic? And I was like, of course, because you know, at the time I was just like, accept anything for a freaking donation, because you know, I was poor, I wanted cars. And he was like, here, you can have this. And I got it, and I was like, you know, it's alright. I didn't really like Civics at the time. I know that the first couple of episodes that I made were always, there was always some Civic mocking involved. Like the first episode of Racing Rivals is actually called "Fuck Your Civic," and the other ones I can't remember. But I know in the second episode there's actually a really interesting thumbnail where I like put smiley faces on the like taillights, I mean on the front, and on the freaking lights, the front lights of this car, and I was like, yeah, that looks interesting, I'm gonna actually keep that. And no, that was probably one of my most memorable thumbnails, you could say, for a video ever, because the rest of them I usually just like ended up, I don't know, just like repeating the same positions for the cars to make, you know, them look friendly. I don't know, just like to basically attract, you know, you guys to the videos. So, you know, I could get more views and, you know, build up my channel, all that stuff, but, you know, it's all good. Now, so, yeah, this was probably one of my, I don't know, like, it's the oldest Civic that I have. Yeah, I know the first campaign card that I chose was actually the Dart. Actually, I didn't choose the Civic, so this was the first ever Civic in my garage, and it's still here, so yeah, that, yeah, I'm not gonna sell it. That still holds up for something. Then we have one of the more interesting cards, and I think it's actually the last card that we will be discussing. No, not quite yet. Ooh, the garage is messing up. Ooh, it's laggy. Super laggy. Okay. Here you go. No, what is it? The Acura NSX. The Redline Acura NSX, actually. Back in the day, I had a maxed NSX and I could not race it, but one day I have decided that it was gonna be, it wasn't this one, but I have decided it would be a great idea to go on Pink Slip, some other Acura NSXs, and I actually, sadly, I didn't record it, but I kept on racing with that car, and then a guy joined in this car. I even had red lines on it and everything. It was basically just like this, and I raced him. He raced the pinks, and we raced. And at the moment when I pressed the race button, I realized that my NSX had engine damage on it, and I was like, "Ah, oh, for fuck's sake! I guess I'm gonna lose another car." But actually, he ended up fouling, and that was super lucky, actually. Just as lucky as me winning that maxed Challenger Hellcat on that S-Class Pink Slip compilation. So, yeah, it was. I was quite pleased with it, and then I took it to the garage. This was back in the day. Keep in mind that when the Red Lions were one of the most premium rims that you could possibly get in your car. So, you know, imagine my face when I go and I was like, "Oh my God, it has Red Lines on it!" And bam. I just take a look and I find another ones, and I was like, what? Yeah, it basically blew my mind, but at the end of the day, I think that these ones looked better, so this is these are the ones that that the car has on them now. Then also, eventually I realized that the car was fully jammed, and I stored it onto my Vault account because it was special. You know, it deserved a special place on my Vault, so really nice NSX. Probably one of the nicer ones you'll ever see, if you know you don't include the NSX RR. Plus, I actually wanted to change the paint to dark orange, but I just like, no, this was the way I got it. It was basically donated to me, because otherwise I would have lost my car, but no, he failed. So actually he messaged me later saying like, congratulations, that was my first race of the day and I messed up, so here, have it. I was like, thanks dude. And then I realized, then I told him that I had engine damage on my car, like over 500 obviously, so it would slow the car down. And he was like, oh shit, well, nice luck buddy, he said, and yeah, that was it. Don't remember his username anymore, but you know what? This car will be a memory of that conversation forever, I guess. So yeah, then actually one of the more recent memories is the SRT Viper GTS, which I went today and look at the rims. Actually pink slipped this on live stream today, which is probably gonna be the last ever. No, not today. Actually, this is recorded on 9th of April, so. Yeah, there won't be any more live streams at the time when this is uploaded, but basically some of you guys will probably remember, because you were watching most likely. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna race the pinks in my fully jammed McLaren MP4 12C, the white one, and he accepted, which was fairly surprising to me, because these rims are these rims are worth so much on the market, especially the blue ones. And he was like, yep. And then and sorry for the background noise, but basically I went on and did the drop launch, and I didn't hold it for long enough. It wasn't a perfect launch, and in the moment I started panicking, I realized that he fouled. Yet again, I got super lucky. So yeah, it's a Max Viper. And it has kick-ass rims on it, basically. Am I gonna keep it? Probably not, because it doesn't have all the memories. I don't have all the memories of it. And then we have a couple of cars that were donated to us by AG Soldier, which is actually also one of my top donators, so shout out to him. And then I have a couple of cards that I transferred from my Smurf account. But yeah, I guess this is it. I don't know how I would say goodbye really to Racing Rivals, but there will be another episode, so I guess this is not quite the end. It won't be a very spectacular episode, and it definitely, you won't really, I don't know, I guess you will probably like it. I'm not gonna spoil it right now. It's gonna be a top 10 list though, that's something. And yeah, I mean, I guess this is the end for all of you guys who are watching this. In the months and years to come, you might just like want to watch a guy who once played Racing Rivals and went huge at the end. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. My name's Jerry, and rest in peace Racing Rivals. Goodbye.